Hey everyone, it's Melissa. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kiddos. I have an 8-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And today I'm going to go over Wisconsin homeschool law. If you're thinking about homeschooling and you're in the state of Wisconsin, I know the first thing I did, at least, was go to YouTube and Google and just search in how to homeschool in Wisconsin, and literally nothing came up. So I thought I would just throw out this video now that we've been homeschooling since my daughter was in pre-K. She's going to be going into the 3rd grade this coming school year, so we are starting our 5th year of homeschooling then. And today I'm just going to go over some resources for you. So the first one that I would suggest, and I'm going to keep glancing at my computer because I don't want to say anything wrong to you guys, is going to be the hslda.org. So they are a wonderful resource. Their job and part of what they are for is that they've been around for the last 40 years and they are protecting and providing information for homeschooling and ensuring that anybody in the United States can homeschool the way the law says they can. So when you go into their website, I will try to do a screenshot here so you can see what I'm looking at as well. In Wisconsin, they have a little map where they show where low regulation, no regulation, moderate regulation, and high regulation. The state of Wisconsin is considered low regulation. There is options for homeschooling. There's only the one option. The school requirement is for ages 6 to 18. So of the almost 5 years that we've been homeschooling now, we've only been registering my daughter since 1st grade. So for pre-K and kindergarten, the state of Wisconsin does not require that I fill out the PI, whatever the number is of that form. I will tell you in a moment. That form only has to be filled out from 1st grade on, or 6th grade, 6 years old and up. Then there is a notification is required, so it's filling out the form. The teacher qualification, there is no teacher qualification for the state of Wisconsin. There is state mandated subjects. The state of Wisconsin does mandate a few subjects for us. And the assessment, there's no assessment required and there's no immunization requirement. Totally off subject, we were kind of looking at a few charter schools recently, and there's a video I can link in the description box where I talked about that a little bit, and I will be doing a video soon about the charter schools in Wisconsin or the public school options for homeschooling, because you're in a public school then. And one of the big things that I would then have to do is the immunization law. And I'm not against immunizations, but I also don't have my children up to date, so there's that. There is also the DPI. That is where the school is going to go get their information for homeschooling and what is required and not required. So your public school, that is where they're going to go. That is where you're going to fill out the PI 1206. And that is your homeschool report. And you must fill that out every single year. So the form is in a way that you can add all your children in the form. You do not have to specify what grade they're in, or you can specify which grade they're in. It is your choice. There is 2 spots in the boxes to check, where you can check their grade or you can check an undetermined section. Also a homeschool Facebook group. Let me see if I can find it quick. There is a lady, her name is also Melissa. She is one of the moderators or the creator of the group. I'm not really sure. The Facebook group is Wisconsin Homeschool Support. She is a wealth of knowledge, and the admins that she is, if it's her group, I'm not sure. The admins on there are also a wealth of knowledge, and if they don't know something, they immediately tag Melissa and let her answer it too. And they have all the laws. They know it inside and out. So if there's something you do not know or don't understand, that is the Facebook group I would suggest joining over all other ones if you are in the state of Wisconsin. Back to some of the things that are required by the state of Wisconsin. Like I said, you must file that annual report. That is your PI 1206. You must file that every single year. You can't just file it once and forget about it. You have to go in every year and do it. It says the statement must state how many students in the elementary and high school grades were enrolled in your homeschool as of the third Friday in September. I believe Melissa makes this post in that homeschool group sometime usually now and then again in September, informing us exactly when we should be filling that form out. I know there's a big push of why to do it one way or the other, not to do it earlier, not to do it too late. You can't do it too late. That would be against the law. But, well, I digress. That's not correct. You can, if your child is enrolled in a public school, take them out and fill out the form. However, that's a whole different thing. But if you are starting the school year with homeschooling, then you just fill it out the third Friday in September. When you fill that form out, you are informing them how many children are in your home. You're informing them what grades they're in, or if they're in elementary or high school. If you're not giving them specific grades, you're just deciding whether they're elementary or high school. You're also providing them whether or not your homeschool's purpose is private or religious based, and that you are not trying to avoid a state's school attendance laws, which you're just certifying that you're not trying to avoid not putting your kids in school, basically. Your homeschool is privately controlled, which means you yourself, one individual, is teaching one family. Our homeschooling will provide at least 875 hours of instruction during the school year, and that threw me off for a minute, so I will show you once I'm done reading these how I handle that. And your homeschool will provide progressive curriculum in the following subjects: reading, language arts, mathematics, social studies, science, and health. To do my attendance, I print out a form that runs, so we're year-round homeschoolers, so I run August to July, and in here I will put whether or not we did school, so the ends are no school, and then the days that we did school, I write the hours in. So this is handling my attendance and my hour tracker at the same time. So I'm not trying to juggle two different forms or any too much craziness. There are no specific laws that say that we have to do the 870 hours. It broke down into we did 25 minutes of math, and we did 25 minutes of language arts, and we did 25 minutes of PE. It doesn't break it down like that. So when I first started homeschooling, I actually thought that that's what I had to do. I had a large planner from the store, and I was writing down in there every day exactly what minute we were doing what, and it was driving me crazy. And I found that apparently a lot of other homeschoolers that I talked to in the area were also doing the same thing. Because when I started asking how they track, they all just kind of and they clammed up and they didn't really say anything. But then when I started talking about how that's what I was doing, and it drove me bananas until I realized there was a better way, they're like, oh, well, what are you doing? And this is just all I do. I just write down the hours. There's nothing that says that we have to break it down. So then I will put the hours that was for that month, and then my total hours. So September was 88 hours, which made 150 hours. And then October was 92 hours, which made us 242 hours for the year. So, and then I just continue on the whole year like that until we hit the 875, and then I stop tracking it. Whether we're still doing school or not, I just stop tracking it at that point. You also cannot track hours. Like, you can track grades for things like ballet, or like my daughter does summer school, but you cannot track those hours because that is being taught by somebody else. So that does not count towards your 875 hours. Your 875 hours have to be taught to one family by one person. So if you were doing private piano lessons where a piano teacher came to my home and taught my children piano, that would count for my hours, to my understanding. If I'm wrong, please somebody leave that in the comments section below, because I would need to know that. But I do know for a fact that when I send my child to ballet with other families, and when I send my child to summer school with other families, those hours do not count towards our 875 hours for the school year. So that's how I have been tracking things. As long as only my children are being taught in the school and only one teacher is teaching them, I count the hours towards our school. And honestly, I'm the only one teaching my children anything because everything else is group family subject issues. So I can't count those towards our hours. I personally actually work really closely with our public school district. I enjoy the fact that we can still do sports with them. If we join one of the public school virtual schools, we will have to give up our sports with our public school. However, I believe the co-op I'm looking at makes up for that by providing financial. That is a whole other subject. I'm so sorry. I will be doing a video about virtual schools in Wisconsin in the next couple of weeks, but right now, just Homeschool Law for Wisconsin. So like I was saying though, I work very closely with our public school. I tend to ask her questions. We are allowed to send our homeschool child to our local school district for 2 subjects per semester, as long as the school district has room. We're also allowed to send our child to any extracurricular activity to provide sports, prom, things like that. We would be allowed to send our child to, as long as our child is also paying any fees that the school district would also charge their students. So like basketball has a fee to it, and we pay the basketball fee for her to be in basketball with the local school district. The local school district has been great. I worked with the pre-K elementary teacher for the longest time, and they just moved to the next elementary teacher. She's second up, I believe, and the other one was second and below. And those principals have been amazing. They have been super helpful, super knowledgeable. I am very thankful that my school district doesn't pull some of the things that I have seen in that homeschool group on Facebook, where Melissa needs to step in and tell the parent that's having the problem how to handle the situation, because I might not have known what I was doing that first year if our school district was like that, because I've been very thankful that they've been super easy to work with and super accommodating. They allow us to do the summer school with them, which I have learned that they have to do for anybody that is in the state. They are very versed in with this few, there's a lot now, but when I first started, there wasn't a lot of homeschoolers, and I am thankful that the principals are very well versed in the homeschool law and the law on who they can and can't allow in the school district and how that works. So I am very thankful for that. She did let me know that we are still, at any point, can sign our daughter up for any of the like music or art. If I wanted to add her to any of that stuff in our public school, I can do that. If you have any questions, I'm sure there's a ton of questions. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I will link the DPI, and I will link the I can never remember what it's called, hslda.org. I will link them below as well, and I will link that Wisconsin homeschool support group as well below, and you can check them out. You can also leave any questions you have. I can try to figure out if I can find the answers or point you in the right direction to find the answer. Like I said, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe and like. I really appreciate it, and I will talk to you next time.